What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Visky, aka Vaden. I'm back with another video today. I wanted to apologize for like the 2 week lag, I guess you could say. I don't even know if some of y'all were waiting, but I like to think some of y'all were, so I'm gonna go with that. But the reason for the lag is, shit, life be life, and you know what I'm saying. Like, I am human. I go through emotions. I have emotions. I have feelings too. I know I come on here and preach a lot of positivity towards y'all. But like I told y'all in previous videos, I have to be someone. I have to lead by example. I have to practice what I preach. So with that being said, I had to take some time away and just take care of myself. Make sure I was good, because you can't take care of others if you can't take care of yourself, or you can't take care of others before you take care of yourself. And that's what I had to just come to terms with. And so I took that time, but here we are today. So without further ado, I just wanted to get that off, clear the air. And today, here we are with the title of today's video, just being brave enough to let yourself go. And I feel like that statement itself is so impactful, and it's so true because, or it's not really true, but it's very powerful, because to let go itself is very, very brave. You have to have a lot of guts, you have to have a lot of determination. And 9 times out of 10, when you let go of something, you're very uncertain of the future. You don't know what will come from this decision. So to do that and go forward with that, with knowing 100%, or not even 100%, but not knowing 100% what will come from this action, is very brave, and that's very commendable. But for the people who don't have that skill and don't have that bravery, I wanted to come on here and talk to y'all and kind of just lift y'all up, to give y'all that sense of bravery, to give y'all that sense of courage to do that. Because there's a lot of times where we are in these situations in life where we just hold on to things for so long, things that don't even bring us, I guess you could say, joy, but things that aren't even beneficial to us in life anymore. We hold on to, whether it be romantic relationships, platonic relationships, whether it be financial situations. Like, we hold on to things for so long that bring us no benefit. And without further ado, just starting with the first steps in this, I think it starts with your perspective. And when I say that, I mean the way you view things, truly. A situation can happen to you, and what I mean when I say perspective, you could look at it, the lens you could look at it from is a victim. You could look at it like the situation has happened to you, it happened to you. You were the person who was not at fault, but you were the fault of the situation. Or you could look at it in a way that you are the reason why these situations are happening. And I think it really just depends on the way you look at the situations. If you're in an abusive relationship, you could be the victim of that relationship. If you have a toxic relationship with money, the other side of that perspective is you are the fault of that. And it differentiates. It depends on your perspective of the situation. I feel like it's so important to acknowledge that first, because, again, like I've preached before, self-awareness is key. And when you cannot do anything if you're not self-aware first. If you want to change, you have to be, the first step is self-awareness, because you cannot change if you don't know what you need to change. So adding on to the perspective, or not perspective, I'm sorry, adding on to the acknowledgement, I think it's very important to also acknowledge what you fear. Because the reason a lot of times we don't want to let go is because we are fearful of what, I explained earlier, we are fearful of what is to come, fearful of what we don't know. We are fearful of the unknown. And that's very understandable, because, like, you don't know, and it ties back into just being comfortable, being uncomfortable. You have to be comfortable not being comfortable, and that's really all it boils down to. You have to learn how to, lean in towards your fears. When something is scary, when something is like, when you haven't did it before, that's the best time to do. Because truly, it's not really a quote, but it's a saying that I've seen it in a movie. I forget where I got it from, but the actor talked about it. He said sometimes our fears can appear as vast as the ocean, right? And when you take step in that ocean, those fears suddenly appear to be a puddle. And I feel like that statement has so much truth in it, because sometimes, we're afraid to let go because of our fears, but when we really just let go and we see that, it's really not that bad. It's really like a puddle. It's not as bad as we make it out to seem. And again, I feel like this is so important, because really you just have to acknowledge your fears first. You have to understand the perspective that you're looking at these situations in, understanding why you aren't letting go because you feel like it's happening to you, or you feel like you're not aware that you're the reason it's happening, or you're not aware that it's happening to you. Understand your perspective first, and then think about the reason you're fearful of not letting go of the situation, not get removing yourself from the situation. Think about that sole reason, and when you figure out that reason, then you can address the situation. So with that being said, I wanted to bring up a quote from Thomas Edison. It reads, I've not failed, I've just found 1,000 ways that don't work. And again, I bring that up, it just ties back into the reason why we don't want to let go. Another reason could be failure, truly. And this quote, I feel like, is a very good explanation of that. Thomas Edison, the creator of the light bulb, I believe. Yes, the creator of the light bulb. I'm sorry, I just had a brain fart. But yeah, let me just read it again. It says, I've not failed, I've just found 1,000 ways that will not work. And what I feel he means by that is like, or the way I interpret it is that, I've talked about it before. Failure is going to happen, especially when letting go. You might let go from a situation, you feel like it might get better, and it might get worse, and that's okay. But like, again, it just ties back into the bravery. You were brave enough to let go and do that greater good for yourself. It might not, the consequences might not be what you wanted it to be, but in the action of letting go, you showed yourself so much bravery, and you showed yourself that you're willing to take a step to better yourself, to put yourself in a better situation. I feel like that's all that matters. You learn from your mistakes, and that's another thing that's very important too. So just understand that. And moving on to the next step is just accept the change that's coming. With that being said, when you're letting go, again, you have to embrace yourself. Brace yourself for the change that is soon to be coming. Because if you're letting go, change is gonna come. It's not gonna be the same. If you leave a very toxic relationship, it might not be the same. You might be peaceful, but that's exactly what I'm saying. It's not gonna be the same. You're used to toxic, and now you're in peace, and that really is just the name of the game. Sorry, my cat is eating his litter. But letting go is a part of growth. And I really want to stress that to y'all. Just understand that letting go is very essential to growth. When you let go, you're going to grow. When you let go, you're going to grow. And if you're too afraid to change, you're doing yourself a disservice. Because again, if you yourself in your conscious mind know that you need to make a change and you don't, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're allowing yourself to be complacent. You're allowing yourself to be stationary, and you're allowing yourself to stay in the same shitty situation that you don't deserve to be in. And that is a choice. And again, I've stressed it before, but it may not be a conscious choice, but it is a choice. It is a choice. So just understand that change is going to come when you let go. If you're trying to be a better self, if you're trying to build yourself to be better than the person you were yesterday, and you're changing your habits, change is going to come, whether it be you losing weight. If you want to start losing weight and then you start eating well, change is going to come. It's going to be changes to your facial features. It's going to be changes to your mood, changes to your energy. And those are positive changes. If you're dealing with a more negative situation, or like say you want to get better with money, and you say you want to change and then you don't change, and you keep spending money, not saving, change is going to come. The change is just not going to be positive. You're going to be in a worse financial position than you were when you wanted to start changing, if that makes sense. So just understand that change is going to come for the better and for the worse. That decision is ultimately up to you, and you have to be confident in your decision making to make the better decision for yourself. Just moving on to step 3 now. As I just talked about change, I brought this up before, but starting small is the most important thing you can do. I feel like when you want to change, a lot of times people want to try to tackle the biggest problem first, and that is never a great idea in my opinion, because if you're new to something, it's like starting a game. And there's an option to start at level 1, or you can skip to level 100 and try to complete level 100. Like, if you never played the game before, when you get to level 100, you're gonna get like demolished because you have not gained the experience, or you don't know what to do. You don't know how to, you know what I'm saying? That's why you start at level 1 and gradually go up. It's kind of like baby steps. You have to start small. you have to understand that this is a this situation is bigger than you. It's dealing with you, but it's bigger than you. You have to understand that and give yourself patience and grace, give yourself time to become the person you want to be. It's not going to happen overnight. And that's what I say. People try to people try to tackle the bigger problem first, and that's not the way to go about it. I'm sorry. You just always, I feel like it's very important to always start with the smaller tasks, whether it be, you know, starting with a new, or not starting, I'm sorry. Changing your habits, maybe a minor one. Maybe when you wake up in the morning, if you want to be a more productive person, maybe instead of waking up and getting right on your phone, maybe wake up and make your bed. Maybe wake up and play your favorite song. Maybe wake up and drink a glass of water. Start small. That's a good way to start off your day. And it's better than what you were doing before if you were waking up and getting immediately on your phone, And it's little things like that can gradually add up. Because once you, for example, again, like I said, if you want to become a better productive person, a more productive person, say you start your day, you wake up in the morning, you drink a glass of water, you make your bed, you maybe go read, maybe go walk outside. After all those things, you're feeling great. You're feeling very energized. And that might lead you to go to the gym that day. That might lead you to, take a run that day. That might lead you to be more social at work instead of just, carrying on the same cycle and routine that's led you to where you don't want to be. Try to change it up a little bit. Start with minor. And then as you grow and as those minor changes become habits, as you wake up every day and then you start to make your bed, drink water, go on a run, go on a walk, as that becomes a part of your daily routine, then you go into the bigger things, and you just have to be patient with yourself. Oh, the cat's making, I guess, the appearance. But just be patient with yourself, truly. Just understand that this is a process and that you're a human, you're not a robot. I say this all the time, but in videos like these, it's very common where people just, they explain these things and they just it's like do this, and it's no margin for human error. And I want to embrace that. I want you to understand that human error is gonna happen because you're a human. Like, you're not a robot, you're not AI, you're not ChatGPT, you're not any of this. Human error is going to happen, but you just have to be okay with that and learn from that. And that goes back to the quote that I read by Thomas Edison. I've not failed. I have just found 1,000 ways that won't work. Just keep going until you figure out what works for you. Another quote that ties back into starting small, because again, if you're trying to change, you have to contradict yourself. If you think about it, just genuinely think about it. If you want to change, you have your present thoughts have to contradict your past thoughts, and your future thoughts as well. They have to contradict the person that you were. If you were a fat, I'm not gonna say fat, but if you were a lazy slob and you want to be a, I'm sorry, if you were a lazy slob and you want to be a bodybuilder, your habits from when you were a lazy slob, if you want to be a bodybuilder, your habits have to contradict those of the lazy fat slob. You have to contradict yourself in order to be better. In order to change, you have to contradict. And the quote reads, if you're not contradicting yourself, you're not growing fast enough. And I want to elaborate on that because, like I just said, growth it's not a timeline. There's not a certain amount of days that you have to grow. Growth is not linear. That's very important to understand that this situation, growth is not linear. Self-growth is not linear. It takes time. It's not and then you might go back here because you might fuck up, you know what I'm saying? You go back up and then you go back down because you might fuck up again. It's just everywhere. So, I'm not saying that you're not going fast enough in the sense that like you're taking too long, but you're not going fast enough in the sense that like you're not applying yourself in the way that it should be. You should be applying yourself. And just carrying on to the next topic, the last topic, it ties back into the fears that I brought up in the first step. Just leaning into fear and embracing uncertainty, because like I said, when you go through change, it's gonna be uncertain. You don't know what is gonna come from the situation. If say you're a gambler, right? You go play blackjack. I don't know how to play blackjack. I've never played it, but I just know that's a gambling game or whatever. Is gambling a sport? I don't know. But say you go bet all your money on blackjack, all your life savings. Say you take out all the money in your savings, your Roth IRA, all that shit. You take it and go put it on blackjack, trying to hit big. You do not know if that shit is gonna hit. You do not know if either you're gonna be balling or you're gonna be broke as hell, asking people for money, panhandling on the side of the road. But you push your chips forward and you play it, and you win. You win. You lean into that fear of poverty, being broke, being ashamed, being of regret, but it turned out good. And it's not always gonna turn out good, but in this situation it did. And again, like I said, you viewed if this situation were a real life situation, you viewed that fear and that uncertainty as an opportunity and not as a threat. You did not view it as a threat. You did not view poverty as a threat. I don't know why you wouldn't. This is an example though. This is a more extreme example. But say leaving a toxic relationship. Yeah, there's pros and cons to every situation. If you leave, you might be in a more peaceful situation. If you stay, you might continue to be abused. You might continue to be in that toxic environment, and that's just not good for the mental or the physical body or the spiritual. So just understand and view uncertainty as an opportunity and not a threat. Uncertainty, being uncertain about a situation, that should be like a light bulb that clicks in your head that this is an opportunity for me to grow. Either I'm going to learn from this situation or I'm going to stay where I'm at. And again, like I said, that's a choice. You might not get the outcome that you wanted, but you have to learn. You need to learn. You have to make the choice and want to learn. And lastly, I'm just going to leave this video off here. I want y'all to understand that in order for all of this to happen, you have to want it. That's really one of the most important, out of everything I've said, I feel like that's the most important part. You have to want this shit. Like, you have to want to be better. It's so easy to say, well, I want to change, I'm going to do it. Especially with this new year coming up. I know a lot of y'all's resolutions is coming up, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be better than you were last year. And sometimes, we do that, but sometimes, more times than not, those are empty promises. So you really have to want better for yourself. Like, if you know better, do better. And that's really the name of the game. Like, you gotta want more for your situation. You gotta want more for yourself. Out of this life shit, it can be so enjoyable. It can be so fruitful. And all of those manifestations and all of those imaginations and all of your dreams can come into fruition. But you just gotta want it, bro. Like, it's just not gonna appear in your hand. Like, to be better, you have to do better, and it takes work. It's really hard. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. It's not easy. It's not gonna be handed to you, but if you want it, you're gonna go get it. And that's really all I can say to y'all. So without further ado, I'm gonna end this video here. I really hope y'all enjoyed. Let me know, give me some feedback in the comments. If there's anything y'all wanted to add on, again, feel free to let me know in the comments. Again, know that this is all for y'all's benefit. These are the things that have helped me. Hopefully I was able to touch on y'all with this message. Hopefully I was able to help someone out going through something like this. Yeah, just know, y'all are always welcome to DM me on Instagram. I believe my Instagram is on my channel somewhere. If not, I'll link it below this video. If you want to talk, I'm free. Y'all can reach out to me. We can work something out. But yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna end this video here. I hope y'all have a nice night. Take care of yourselves. Truly, take care of yourself. This life shit is hard. Don't make it harder. Take care of yourself. And I'm in this video here. Y'all have a nice night. Peace out. Also, peep the bond easy. All right, y'all.